Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says there has to be life beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. He's specifically calling on young people to take the lead and rebuild their economy. What is the role of young people then in this new normal that we're going to have to face? We're joined by Patrick Mcobothi from the Active Change Drivers. Patrick, good evening. It's a pleasure to have you on News at Prime. What is your response, firstly, to the President's call for young people to be taking the lead?
Good evening, Kathy. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to partake in this conversation. I think the President has said it well, that young people should take the lead in terms of driving change in their country, especially with the issues that we face as young people of South Africa.
What does that practically mean? So I hear that you're welcoming the call, but what then becomes the responsibility that rests on young people, and I imagine organizations like yourselves that are responsible for bringing young people together?
Yeah. So, Kathy, for Activate Leadership's response, we have been having different online engagements regarding the COVID-19 situation in South Africa, like hosting online webinars and assisting healthcare workers within 9 provinces in South Africa. Also, we've provided different tools for our health sector champions who work with nurses and doctors in making sure that we win the fight against COVID-19. So the network as a whole, the Activate network as a whole, has really been part of driving change in assisting young people making a difference within this time of COVID-19.
There are, of course, big questions around what it is that young people are going to be able to do, especially when having to confront then the unemployment rate and what that has meant for the majority of young people in this country who now find themselves without work.
Yes, Kathy. I think it's different depending on the organization or a sector that trying to address the issues of unemployment. I think within our own organization, the Activate Leadership Network, we have 5 sectors. The first one is health. The second one is literacy. The third one is youth economic participation. We have active citizenry. So these sectors, Kathy, focus mainly on driving change within the community. But in coming back to the issue of unemployment, the youth economic participation sector, which is a sector that sets unemployment and driving change within the social entrepreneurship sector for young people who own businesses, who run programs that profit. So our response as a sector within the Activate network is that we have been having these online engagements, sharing different tools for young people who are running businesses in South Africa.
It's interesting because listening to you speak, I'm hearing how the internet has been central to many of the programs that you're running and much of the work that you're doing. So then when we take a look at the role of technology in being able to increase access to these various streams of opportunity for young people, how important would you say that is? And for those who are unable to access it, the extent to which then they are effectively being left out of the conversation?
Yes, Kathy. I think the reality in South Africa, as you know, the country is currently facing the 3 issues: poverty, inequality, and unemployment. And currently, young people are facing the issue of access to data. And I think the conversation has started way back where young people lobby groups have been saying data must fall, and data has not fallen. Yes, it has assisted with the network suppliers trying to decrease the data cost, but it's still a challenge for young people within the network of Activate to access the online engagement, to continuously have this engagement online because the data is expensive. Last week, Kathy, for an example, we had an online engagement which focuses on role of youth in South Africa in the new normal. And in our conversation, we spoke about things, the COVID-19 issues, but the engagement would have been a success if we had more young people. But we know currently the issues of data, cost are a challenge and are an issue in South Africa currently.
All right, it certainly is a big problem. And when you see the way that life is structured in 2020, young people absolutely need access to the internet because that's where the real opportunities for them lie. And so creating that access becomes even more important. Patrick Mcobothi is with the Activate Change Drive.